David walks into the meeting room. The conversation stops. Everyone sits up straighter. The energy shifts. He hasn't said a word yet, but everyone already feels it. David doesn't understand. Why do people act differently? When he's around, he's just being himself. But somehow, he makes others uncomfortable. It's not intentional. It's not arrogance. It's not superiority. It's something deeper, something psychological, that highly intelligent people don't even realize they're doing. Today, I'll explain the psychology behind why highly intelligent people intimidate others, even when they're trying to be friendly. David is 32, a software engineer with an IQ of 145. He's kind, he's helpful, but he has no close friends at work. When he joins conversations, they become shorter. When he suggests ideas, people nod but seem tense. When he asks questions, others give brief answers. He eats lunch alone, not because he wants to, but because, when he sits with others, the conversation dies. People make excuses to leave. For months, David thought something was wrong with him. Maybe he was boring. Maybe he was rude. Maybe people just didn't like him. Then his therapist explained something. That changed his perspective. You're not the problem, David. You're just highly intelligent. And that intimidates people. Suddenly, everything made sense. The awkward silences, the defensive body language, the social distance. It wasn't personal. It was psychological. And it happens to highly intelligent people everywhere. Let me explain the 5 reasons why. The 5 psychological reasons. Reason 1. You expose their insecurities. When you speak, you naturally reference concepts and ideas that others don't understand. This isn't you showing off. You're just being authentic. But to them, it highlights what they don't know. And people hate feeling inadequate. Psychologists call this cognitive dissonance. Their self-image as competent and knowledgeable conflicts with how they feel around you. Reason 2. You ask uncomfortable questions. Intelligent people think critically. They question assumptions and dig deeper. When someone says, "We've always done it this way," you ask, "But why?" When someone states an opinion, you ask, "What's the evidence?" This threatens people's comfort zones. Most people don't want to examine their beliefs too closely. Your questions force them to. Reason 3. You process information faster. In conversations, you're 3 steps ahead. You see patterns before others finish speaking. You might finish their sentences or jump to conclusions that seem obvious to you, but others haven't gotten there yet. This makes them feel like they're slow, like they can't keep up. And instead of admiring your quick mind, they feel intimidated by it. Reason 4. You don't engage in shallow conversations. Small talk feels meaningless to you. You want depth. When someone talks about the weather or weekend plans, you struggle to engage. You want to discuss ideas and concepts, not surface-level things. But to others, this comes across as disinterest or superiority. They think you find them boring, which makes them defensive. Reason 5. You have high standards for yourself, and unconsciously, you project those standards onto others. When someone presents half-thought-out ideas, you naturally point out the logical flaws, not to be mean, but because you see them clearly. But others experience this as harsh criticism, as you being impossible to please, as setting the bar too high for normal people. Combined together, these 5 things create an invisible barrier between you and others. They don't hate you. They're intimidated because being around you makes them confront their own limitations. And most people would rather avoid that uncomfortable feeling, so they avoid you instead. Here's what's important to understand. This dynamic happens in both directions. Let me show you both perspectives. The intelligent person thinks, "I'm just being authentic. Why do people pull away? I'm trying to connect, but something feels off. Maybe I'm the problem. The other person thinks. They make me feel inadequate. I don't understand half of what they say. I feel stupid around them. I'll just keep my distance. Both sides feel the tension. Neither side fully understands why. It's not about right or wrong. It's about different cognitive processing, different communication styles, different comfort zones. And that's okay. Understanding this is the first step. Remember David, once he understood the psychology behind it, he stopped taking it personally. He learned to adjust his communication style, not to dumb himself down, but to create space for others to feel comfortable. And slowly, things started to change. If you're highly intelligent and you intimidate others, it's not your fault, but it is your responsibility to be aware of it. You can still be yourself. You can still be authentic, but you can also be mindful of how you communicate and create psychological safety. And if you're someone who feels intimidated by intelligent people, remember, they're not trying to make you feel small. They're just being themselves. Understanding the psychology behind intimidation